Very good afternoon to you, everyone. Kia ora, as we say in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Welcome to this month's webinar. It's a very special webinar. This is probably the first interaction you've had with our New Zealand product suppliers since the cyclones that rolled through the country last month. So we're here to say that New Zealand is definitely open for business. We're a resilient people, and that you've seen the best of our country in these times, that we've really rallied together and helped each other out, and that we just, after the last couple of years with COVID closures and everything else, we need your support more than ever. But just by way of introduction, as we wait for people to sort of log on, just a reminder that if you have any technical difficulties or if you're needing any assistance, please let us know via the chat function. We are monitoring that throughout today's presentation. Today's presentation will also be recorded, so if you have to go away and deal with a client, we understand, and this will be sent to you as a follow-up link to the recording as well. Now, we have a very special guest, Denise Civita, who comes to us from the Bay of Plenty region. And I'll let Denise cover her fantastic region, but I will just say I am a little bit biased because this is part of my backyard growing up, and this is where we would always go on our family vacations around the holiday season. And you'll see why. But very briefly, I want to walk you through Pacific Storytelling if you're new here. Pacific Storytelling is my sales and marketing agency with a number of Kiwi expats also on the team, but my background includes working with cultural tourism products. I was with the New Zealand Tourism Board and also with Qantas Vacations and Travel 2 previously as well. So I've been up here for about 10 years now, but home is always home. And just to begin, I like to sort of put it into context exactly as to where New Zealand is. So you can see this world map here, this map from a satellite image here, the islands of New Zealand. And that image in the top left corner is the eastern seaboard of Australia. And then you've got up there some of the Pacific Islands as well, just to sort of put it into context in terms of where we are. We are the size geographically of California or Colorado, and we have a population of about 5 million people nowadays. So quite a nice place to get away from it all. It's very well connected to this market. So we've had an increase in lift with our major airline partners. We now fly over 50 flights a week through to New Zealand from North America and Honolulu, Hawaii. You'll see that the flying times, for 12 and a half hours from LA is typical. And I always like to say for those who are selling Rome, that is the exact same flight time as what you'd get through to Auckland as well. So just to put it into context, what time of year is good to go? Well, any time of year obviously is good to go, but just to give you a rough idea of the seasons, the spring and the fall are fantastic for the more adventurous. It's cooler mornings, warming up into lovely afternoons. But if you're going to do get your heart rate up, it's nice to have a little bit of a cooler temperature in the morning. But in saying that, New Zealand does have a reputation for having all of the seasons in one day at times. So it is recommended to always pack your sunscreen and sun hat regardless. And a good tip is to always pack in layers. And bathing suits, I have a funny feeling are going to be necessary if you're visiting the Bay of Plenty. Now, our services is that we offer free services to the travel trade here in North America, including cultural sensitivity training for both yourselves and your clients. These are available free to you on our website, pacificstorytelling.com, and there's a library of trainings available for you there. We also offer from time to time key agent fam trips to the destinations of the South Pacific. So keep an eye out on our newsletters for those and make sure that you sign up for our newsletters as well to make yourself aware of those opportunities. We hold our monthly webinar trainings, which is what we're doing today, and then make them available for you. So that is what we do, but really this today is the Bay of Plenty Tourism Show. So I'm going to hand it over to my very good friend, Denise. Welcome, Denise. It's lovely to see you this morning for you.
Thank you, and kia ora, everyone. It's lovely to be able to present to you today. So we're going to kick off with a overview of the beautiful coastal Bay of Plenty. For many of you, you may not have been to this region or may not be aware of it, but I'm sure by the end of this webinar today, you'll be able to sell this product or sell this region with confidence, and obviously Ren's there to help you through any questions you may have afterwards. So so I'm going to share my screen with you, and please, if there's any questions, pop them in the question box at the bottom or raise your hand, and we will answer those. So just bear with me while I share screen. One more minute. There we go. How's that? Can everybody see that okay? Great. So just an overview of the coastal Bay of Plenty. We're on the Pacific Coast Highway. So as you can see with that round red circle, so we're in the North Island. We're very, very close to Auckland. So the drive time from Auckland to the city of Tauranga is approximately 3 hours. So Auckland being the hub, I guess, where all your clients would come into. And then from down the coast, so from Auckland down through the Coromandel and into the Bay of Plenty. So we actually take on from Waihī Beach right through Tauranga, Mount Maunganui, Whakatāne, Ōhope Beach, and into the Whirinaki Forest. So Tauranga to Whakatāne, which is one of our little seaside towns, is 1 hour and 15 drive. Tauranga to Rotorua, which you may be aware of, is a 45-minute drive, and Tauranga to Hobbiton, which is just over the hill from us, is 45 minutes. Tauranga to Taupo is a 2-hour drive, so that's right in the centre there. That's the size of Singapore. And then Tauranga from the Coromandel Peninsula, which is just up here, is approximately 1 hour to our city centre. So we have direct flights into the region on a daily basis. Those direct flights come from Auckland, and that's about a 35-minute flight, and then from Wellington, which is approximately just over an hour, and then into Christchurch, which is about an hour and a half direct flight. And then from there, obviously, you can travel other parts of New Zealand. So I'm hoping that this video will play for you. I know it generally does, but sometimes the sound is a little bit naughty. So here's fingers crossed that you hear this. So just to give you a quick overview before we move on to the next slide, the Coastal Bay of Plenty shines very brightly as one of the most desirable places to live and play in New Zealand. So it is set beside the stunning Pacific Ocean, which you'll find and this is where you'll find the country's 5th largest and fastest growing city called Tauranga. And it's alongside a sleepy seaside villages, all within easy reach of one another, so right through along the coast. And this is a region where you can get outdoors and bask in the sunshine. If you love to be in or on the water, you'll feel right at home here. So we are just going to move on to the next. So weather in the Coastal Bay of Plenty. So we're just coming out of summer now, and the Bay of Plenty is a sun seeker's paradise, and with lots of white sandy beaches. And it is really the only place in summer to be, we believe. It's definitely a Kiwi's favourite, as Ren said. This is where he and his family used to come to spend their holidays. So the Mount Maunganui, which I will show you an image of very shortly, it has been voted #1 beach in New Zealand for a number of years. And we have a number of other top beaches that feature in our region, which sit in the South Pacific. So the average temperatures in the summer sit around 23 to 25, and the average sea temperatures around 21, which is 70 degrees Fahrenheit to you. And then, of course, we have our autumn, which is what you're currently looking an image at. And this is a great place because of its extension through from summer. So we get long, fine days and warm, settled weather during our autumn, which makes it the best season time to visit. And it's when obviously the schools and holiday makers, domestic, have gone back, and it's a great time to be able to just enjoy without the crowds. And it's not too hot or not too cold. Our winter in the Coastal Bay of Plenty sits around the 14 to 15 degrees Celsius. And I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's still warm. We don't actually get cold. We don't have any snow. It's still lovely to bask, in the sunshine during that winter period as well. And our springs can be a little bit different. They can be a little bit wet at times, but it's also the best time to be visiting, again, if you want to see the beautiful the budding of the trees and the marine life, and coming to life with lots of babies like dolphins and orcas and seals around our area. So what are we well known for? Well, clearly we are well known for our ocean and beaches. So this is Mount Maunganui, as I mentioned, #1 beach in New Zealand, voted for a number of years. And this is where Kiwis obviously love to holiday. So there's 78 miles of white sandy beaches to explore. The area definitely has a relaxed and inviting vibe, and it's a perfect place to spend a few days where you can explore outer islands, our local marine life, go fishing. If you're a bit more adventurous, learn to surf or stand-up paddleboard, which is a favourite while in this region. And it's also got a very easy, safe and inner harbour to enjoy. The waters are warm, as I mentioned, and with a number of beaches to explore along the way. We're also well known for our natural environment. So this region has a natural beauty with its coastline, its harbours, its rivers, its cycle trails, and easy walks to waterfalls to take in breathtaking views. So visit ancient forests, check out canyons, twinkling with glowworms, and different, obviously, conservation parks. And one of the last prehistoric rainforests and McLaren Falls are in this area. So moving on, our foodie story, we are blessed with fertile land and open seas, and because of it, it has its own microclimate with very mild temperatures all year round. So it's a perfect place to grow wonderful produce, including kiwifruit, avocados, citrus, truffle farming, and of course, fresh seafood and more. So a lot of our local establishments, our restaurants, take full advantage of these ingredients, and there is no shortage of world-class dining experiences to enjoy while people are visiting here. There's plenty to pick and choose from, with many foodie events on from November through to the end of April. And of course, our cultural explorers. So it's in our nature to make visitors feel right at home by extending our manaakitanga, or our hospitality, to all. So we've got our storytelling, includes visiting landing places of the Mātatua Waka, taking a walk around or to the top of Mauau, which is this wonderful, beautiful extinct volcano, and exploring the hills of Papamoa, which are in our area. And all our cultural explorers will enjoy the natural, authentic experiences arriving as a visitor. And of course, we want people to leave as our friend. So the Coastal Bay of Plenty has a number of products that sit within our different pillars, as we call them, I guess. So exploring our ocean, our beaches, and our natural environment. So we make it easy for people to do this. So this is one of our key products. This is Motahora Sanctuary Island. So this, you leave from Whakatāne, which, as I mentioned, was 1 hour and 15 minutes away from the main city centre of Tauranga, and you take a 15-minute boat trip out to Motahora Island. So this is where you will land on the island, and this is a protected island, so it's part of the Department of Conservation. Part of the ticket price does go back to Department of Conservation, as well as our coastal guys who look after our coast as well. You arrive on the island, you're taken for a walk, and it is where many of our protected birds and some of our prehistoric, I guess, what do we call them, like the tuatara, they're protected there. Our kiwi birds, we have a number of kiwi birds on the island. And obviously we also have beautiful walks which will take you up to the saddle with views out to Whakatāne White Island. And then when you come back, we take you on a walk around to this very secluded beach. So very small numbers. We don't take any more than 25 people a day out to the island. So your footsteps, or your client's footsteps, are the first to touch the sand when they arrive. Another great product is Waimarino, our glowworm kayak tour, and it's an amazing product. It's one of the favorites. It's an evening product, so it means that you can go and explore during the day, and then in the evening Waimarino can pick up the client from their hotel or their accommodation. They take you out to a really quiet lake called Lake McLaren. You're popped into these double kayaks, or they do have a large waka. So if you've got people that are less able to kayak themselves but would still like to do this, then you can go in a large waka where the tour guides will paddle you and take you up into the canyon. So it's all led by professional tour guides. You're fully kitted out, and you're taken onto the lake as it becomes dark, and you paddle up to the canyon. They then lead you into the canyon. It's absolutely stunning, and it's just such a condensed amount of glowworms. So if anybody doesn't know what a glowworm is, it's these little mite things that, as you can see, all those starry bits, and they just glow at night. So you hear the story and the life cycle about a glowworm, and then of course you get to just experience this incredible feeling of really connecting very closely with nature. Another way to see the region is definitely with Bay Explorer. They have a half-day tour with dolphin and wildlife cruises where you'll be able to see our local marine life, also visit see seals and whales, penguins, sunfish sometimes. So this is a great product, particularly over our summer period. They start off in the spring, they go through summer and into autumn, but generally during winter, it's a lot quieter. They leave the marine life alone. So this product is depends on the time of year. And this is a bit of fun as well. So this is river bugs. Obviously, not for the faint-hearted, but this particular image. So they have the different types of product available. So they can do things, anything from a scenic, easy bug tour, which is suitable for ages 5+, or a rapid, exciting bug tour for adventure seekers, aged from 10 years plus. So as you can see, you're in these little inflatables. You've got these paddles on your hands and on your feet. So it's a great experience. Cultural explorers, there are plenty of opportunities to enjoy and learn about New Zealand Indigenous culture here. We have guided by obviously our Māori values such as manaakitanga, which is hospitality, and our local Māori tourism operators make our visitors feel welcome when visiting our shores. So many of our tours, this is travel-led. He does a number of different styles of tours, anything from a half day to a full day, taking you through our region and telling some of our beautiful stories of our people. Our adventure is a little bit more adventurous. It's an opportunity to experience a wakaama or an outrigger canoe, and a cultural walk of our mountain, Mount Maunganui, or Mawao as we know it, guided by our people of the land who share their stories, which have been handed down through the generations. And then, of course, if you want to get out on the water and catch some beautiful kai or food while you're here, then Muir's Tours is an incredible product as well, offering a smorgasbord of treats run by a former New Zealand Māori All Black, Dion Muir, and visitors can choose from a variety of personalised experience, including fishing and diving trips to a cookout at his place in any of the tiny, which is in the tiny seaside village of Makatu. Te Aroha Tourism is one of our tours that takes in some of the most beautiful natural vistas in the area and its harbour. And Paula Perina or Rion are storytellers, all of French Māori heritage, who will allow you to don a cultural lens and recount historic events. So this is a e-bike tour around our region. And then, of course, we'll go back one. This is what else is new in our region. Obviously, our region has been planning and for the future and take note of many new product and developments. So V8 Trike Tours, they offer anything from a 30-minute to a 3-hour tour. They have 2 4-seater trikes and 1 2-seater trike. So a great way to see the region. So as mentioned, anything from a 30-minute, which will take you along our coast, or will take you, this is Lake McLaren, or up into the Minden to get amazing views of the region. Skydive, if you've got those ones that want to see it from the air, then obviously we can do that as well. So this is a unique way to truly discover the entire Bay of Plenty. So you can see, you know, anything right through from views of Mount Maunganui or Mawao, as you can see from the top there, right across our golden beaches and right through to Whakari White Island, Waihī Beach, Coromandel, and even as far afield as the Rotorua Lakes or Mount Ruapehu, and occasionally even as far as Mount Taranaki as well. Accommodation. So a selection of accommodation in our region. You'll be, some may be familiar with some of our key ones, but this is a new product, which is Watercliff. So it's a luxury eco retreat on the banks of the Manawa River. So it really is about getting back to nature. It's off-grid with all the mods and cons. So you still have power, but it's generated off-grid. It's luxury off-grid accommodation, and it's absolutely stunning. I've stayed here myself, loved it, really about getting back to nature, and the hosts are just incredible people. And then you've got Orokawa Bay, which is out Waihī Beach Way. This is secluded hilltop sanctuary, which offers panoramic views across the ocean. The retreat features 4 luxurious double bedrooms, each with its own ensuite. And it's a great place for people to recharge and relax and venture out and explore the surrounding areas. And then, of course, right in the city centre, we've got Trinity Wharf, 123-room hotel, which sits on and over the water. Another great place to relax and unwind. It also has a great restaurant and very conveniently situated on the cusp of the city centre of Tauranga, and a 10-minute drive from Tauranga over to the airport and 15 minutes over to Mount Maunganui. The Clarence, another beautiful product, 10 individually boutique style rooms, and has a choice of 2 restaurants, a bar that's obviously serves some of the best cocktails, and a wonderful wine selection and great outdoor dining space. The French Country House, set in the countryside, luxury accommodation with the perfect pairing of rustic elegance and modern refinement. Have all of 3 bedrooms are superbly appointed with elegant hand-picked pieces of furniture, and each with their own ensuite bathroom as well. And then if you've got those that are traveling through that want to be on the beach side, maybe they're in a camper van, or they're also still want the luxury of being very close to the beach and being able to walk onto that white, beautiful sandy beach, then we've got Tasman holiday parks in our region. All of their holiday parks are on the beach side. This is the Tasman Holiday Beach Park at Papamoa, and they have a number of beautiful villas, all with their own en-suites, decking to sit out there and enjoy a local glass of wine or local food, and easy walking to wonderful restaurants and bars as well. This is probably is more of a backpackers, but it is a wanderlust. It's a luxury backpackers. So situated right in the city centre. It is what we call a 5-star Qualmark hostel, and it has been newly renovated historic building. So again, very close to restaurants and bars in the area. And then Awa. Now, Awa Motel, I know in the States, motel's not necessarily the right word, but it is actually a beautiful place to stay. It's in Whakatāne, and it's where you would probably want to stay if you were doing the Motahora Island tour or exploring Whakatāne. There is a number of other accommodation in the area as well. And regenerative tourism. So what we've been doing is obviously our region is a breathtaking, beautiful region, without a doubt, and a number of reasons why many people love spending time here. But of course, our beauty is fragile, and we all have a shared responsibility to look after our natural environment and the communities who call this our place home. So all of our operators have been invited to take on a 12-week course, which takes them through the options of how to be regenerative, how to look after our environment, but also what they can be doing to help our visitors understand the importance of our region. So they are definitely, many of our operators are leading the way in sustainability, and these operators give back to the community in all sorts of ways and offer travel experience that create a connection to the region that stays with the visitor for obviously a long time after they've returned home. So we have a list of those, and we will share this with you as well. And then our foodie lovers delight. So the region of Bay of Plenty title reflects the generosity of its people and its abundant food producing abilities, including the world's best kiwi fruit, avocados and citrus manuka honey, and is therefore no surprise that as Tauranga continues to thrive as New Zealand's fastest growing city, there's been an explosion in the number of unique cafes, restaurants, bars, and it has to offer, serving up all our local produce in the area. We have a festival which we run on an annually, which is coming up, and that will run for 10 days with a number of amazing events. So if anybody's visiting during that time, then obviously it's a great time to take the opportunity to experience some of those festivals. So from foodie festivals and everything else in between, there's always something happening in the Bay of Plenty, whether you're planning a visit or next week or in the next year or whenever. The list of events are endless, and you'll find all of this information on our website. So head to our website if you want additional information, which is bayofplentynz.com. And if you want some of the resources from our trade sector, then it's bayofplentynz.com/trade. And that's it from me. So I'm going to stop sharing. So if you just bear with me.
Fantastic, Denise. While you do that, I welcome everyone in attendance to send through your questions. And I know that we also advertised that we will be giving away a bottle of New Zealand wine to one lucky attendee too. So at the end of today's presentation, Denise will have a quick quiz for you, and then we'll give that away. But we've got a couple of questions already in the can, so please do continue to send those through. What I will say is that that Taste Festival that Denise mentioned, I was lucky enough to be there last year. It really is incredible. The food and produce of the Bay of Plenty is remarkable, and we had an evening experience where two of the celebrity chefs, sisters, made us a hangi, earth oven meal at a house, and fabulous entertainment. The food was divine. It was a wonderful, wonderful occasion, and we were so happy to be there. So highly recommend it if you have visitors in New Zealand in the next month or so, and to keep an eye on that every year. Keeping with events, we do have one question from our good friend Sunny Rossi. Sunny asks about the Tarnished Frocks and Divas show.
Oh.
Is that still going, and if so, when?
Okay, that's actually a really good question, because I've taken a number of clients to Tarnished Frocks and Divas. Sorry, it's so bright and sunny here today. As you can see, I'm like, ooh. It hasn't been happening for the last few years during COVID. Obviously, it had to be cancelled on a number of occasions. I do believe that it is possibly going to happen next year in 2024. There is no information that's been released to us at the moment. But what I would suggest, Sonny, is that you have a look on our website. We have an events page there, which will list all the events in in our region, including things like Tarnished Frocks and Divas. We've got the Jazz Festival coming up. Obviously, we've got the Foodie Festival, which is absolutely so exciting. There's so many events and so many things to pick from. And we do have the Arts Festival, which comes biannually, and then obviously lots of other little events during the year. So just pop on our website and have a look at the events page, and that will tell you what's coming up for the future, which helps when you're planning a visit this way. You can always add those in as, you know, don't forget to do this while you're there.
Absolutely. And then I saw some of our attendees were trying to raise their hand, so I'm not sure if you had a question or not, but feel free to send it through. But meanwhile, Denise, do you have the question for everyone, and I'll monitor to see who we can give away this wine to.
Okay, sounds fantastic. Thanks, Ren. I think one of the things, a question that I do have is, can you name one of the things the coastal Bay of Plenty is well known for? I think we've had plenty of, I've given you plenty of hints during our webinar today. So name one of the things the coastal Bay of Plenty is well known for.
Well, it's
an easy one.
We have an answer here from Sunny Rossi. Kiwifruit, is that the right answer?
Oh, definitely kiwifruit. We are well known for kiwifruit. Yes, yes. Fabulous. I mean, you could have answered many things, but kiwifruit, it's the place where kiwifruit are growing. Definitely.
Amazing. Congratulations, Sunny. And one more question today, Denise, before I let you go, is from Angela, and she asked, what's the ideal amount of time to visit the Bay of Plenty?
I think if you could, you know, it depends on what your client's plans are. We always say 7 to 8 nights is always nice, but obviously we're so close to many other regions like Rotorua, which is 45 minutes. So, you know, you can always base yourself here and go off and do those day trips as well. So, you know, even if I know up in the US, you don't get that much time to spend, but you know, even if it's a couple of days, so 2 to 3 days, or if you want to stay longer, you can stay as long as you like.
Oh, perfect answer. Well, thanks, Denise, for your time. I know it's early down there, and thank you everyone for your time today. We know you're busy booking those trips. Hope that this has been helpful for you, and just a little bit of information about a region that's near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. What we will do is we're getting a number of extra questions coming through, like about the adventure activities. What we'll do is we'll handle that over email. We'll send through a copy of this recording, and as well as some of those resources Denise talked about over email later today. But if you do have any other further questions, feel free to keep emailing them through, and we'll reply to you as best as we can. How we say goodbye is we say haere. Kia hoki mai anō. We'll see you again next time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and hopefully we get to see you soon. Take care. Bye.